Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Grenada belongs to all of us. And when I say Grenada, I am referring to the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and Petite Martinique. I want to encourage the people who are viewing via Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. One wonders why the opposition forces are so interested in indoctrinating as many people as possible into believing that the government can solve all the problems that we have, that we are experiencing. The NNP and their surrogates, pundits, they are seeking to give you the impression that the NDC administration can fix everything now. But they have done that during 2008 to 2013 on the many talk show programs. Because to them, the NNP is held at a different standard, a lower standard. But the NDC is held at a higher standard. And as a result, they cultivate this mindset, particularly among their supporters and the unsuspecting, that the NDC has to fix all the problems that exist in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And not just within the term of 5 years, but now. The NNP started off in opposition by giving people the impression that the NDC must fix every single problem now. We heard it from Emmeline Pay when she started speaking. She used words to the effect, pay pension now, fix the roads now, make everybody permanent now. And she started going on. But not only Emmeline Pay who used words to that effect. We saw nearly all of them over the last 23 months. Even the surrogates and pundits giving the impression that the NDC must fix everything, all the problems. And that is why you're seeing police officers, for example, recording stuff and putting it on the internet and using the word now, saying fix it now. You could imagine that. So the NNP over the last 23 months, they have been trying very hard to indoctrinate, to culture our people into believing that the NDC's mandate is to fix all the problems of our times. But the NNP was there for 23 years and a half, and they couldn't fix all the problems. So why then they believe the NDC in 23 months could fix all the problems? You see, the NNP is preying on the vulnerability of the people. There are a lot of people who don't read. There are a lot of people who don't follow news. There are a lot of people who don't listen to certain talk show programs. There are a lot of people who are not on social media. There are a lot of people who are not tech savvy. So as a result, they are preying on their vulnerability. Remember, we still have a lot of people in Grenada who are illiterate. We still have a lot of people in Grenada who do not have a device like a smartphone. We still have a lot of people in Grenada without internet access at their homes. We still have a lot of people who cannot use a cell phone to access the internet to get information, to research things. We still have a lot of people who rely only on radio and they listen to certain programs and that's it. So the NNP knows that. Don't fool yourself. Because for 23 years and a half, they kept a lot of people illiterate and they kept a lot of people poor and vulnerable and exposed. So they know what they're playing with. So they're on air, they're pundits, they're surrogates. And when they speak, one with sense wonders. But you were there for 23 years and a half. You couldn't fix all the problems that existed. The NDC, they're only 23 months, under 2 years, But you want them to fix every problem, everything. You want them to fix all the police stations in the country. You want them to fix all the roads in the country. You want them to fix all the schools that need repairs in the country. You want them to fix all the medical stations and all the hospitals in the country. You want them to employ all the people who are unemployed and looking for work in the country. You want them to repair all the homes that are in need of repairs. You want them to provide materials for these people in the country. You want them to fix all the airports and just name it, the ports, and you want them to make everybody who are on contract or who are temporary within government permanent. You want them to work miracles in 2 years, not even 5 years. Not even 5 years. And 5 years is a term. They want the NDC to fix all the mess that they created, that the NNP created over the 23 years and a half as a government. But they have been doing that, and it has been pretty much going unnoticed because many people are not paying attention to what they're doing. They're trying to culture the mind of the people into believing that that is what the NDC must do or have to do. But they were there in power. They couldn't fix all the problems. So why then do you give this impression? You see, they know there are still people out here who are illiterate. There are still people out here who don't follow news, who are not interested, who don't read, who don't even follow certain programs, right? Because they make them believe that listening to this program or that program is bad. And that might just be the program that they could learn something from. You see the point? And they constantly criticize government. They have nothing good to say about the government. Only yesterday, a madam who gave me a lift said, but the opposition party and their supporters All they can do is criticize. All they can do is condemn. All they can do is talk this government bad, is talk this country bad. Anything that's good, they are quick to attack it. They are quick to go after it negatively. And she was saying, but this team just come just under 2 years and they are trying, they are doing a number of things, but yet for all, the NNP and their supporters, all they do is condemn. All they do is tear down. They cannot build up anything. Tell me one initiative that the NNP started while in opposition. Tell me one good thing you can point to for the last 23 years that the NNP actually did as a political party, as a party who been in government. They have connections left, right, and center. Tell me, I would love to know. Tell me one initiative, just one, or just two, that they've actually done. Keith Mitchell, for example, he has $19 million. Have you seen this guy spend any amount of money on any serious national initiative that his party or maybe him or any one of them started? Have you seen that? In fact, the government is giving $10,000 to all the constituencies every month. $10,000 constituency allowance. Do you know that some of the opposition MPs are not even utilizing that money at the rate they should utilize it to do liquor projects in their constituencies? But I am saying, if you can point to me 3 or 4, 2 or 1 major initiative that they actually pioneered or started while in opposition in the last 23 months, I would be the first to commend them or applaud them. But they have not. They have not done anything. The NNP, they have not done anything major as opposition. So they complain that cost of living is high and it's affecting the hospital. It's affecting, people. Have you seen them gone on some food hamper drive, giving food hampers to people? Have you seen them gone and collect from their supporters provision, banana, dasheen, tanya, blogo, plantain, yam, and then maybe you add some rice and flour and meat, fish, chicken, whatever to it and bring it to the hospital kitchen or any school kitchen? They complain about the hot meal program and some schools don't have all the items to cook certain meals. Have you seen them gone in any of those schools with some fish? You have a lot of jacks now with jacks or fish or chicken or rice or flour or provision. Have you seen them gone there with anything whatsoever in those schools? Because whenever they do something, it's all over the internet. Even if for 2 years they fail to do, and then they do one thing, the beginning of the 3rd year, tell me, it would be all over the place. All over the place. Have they done anything whatsoever as opposition? Have they done it? Nothing whatsoever. All they do is complain. All they do is attack, attack, attack. So you can see all the problems, but you have no solution. No solution for any one of them. You criticize the police force. You criticize healthcare, you criticize education, you condemn everything you're talking about. But not one solution. Not once have we seen the NNP in opposition do anything constructive, anything serious about remedying any problem. They can talk, of course. They will talk from now until thy kingdom come. They love to talk. They love to criticize. They love to condemn. They love to attack verbally everything that the government does. But I am simply saying it is time for us to call on them to be responsible, to be constructive. It's one thing to criticize, It's one thing to talk about all the problems, but it's another thing to put forward solutions and to be problem solvers and to be the person to fix things. We need people who could fix things, who could solve things, who could make things better. Not only criticize. In fact, if you're in a relationship and every time you get up in the morning, the man or the woman keep complaining, after a while, you will get fed up and either leave or you may respond. You may say certain things. Because you complain the bed and makeup, but you're not making it up. You complain the yard needs sweeping, but you're not sweeping it. You complain that the bathroom needs scrubbing or cleaning, you're not cleaning it. You complain that the stove has a problem, you're not fixing it. You complain that the fridge has a problem, or when you're brushing your teeth, you need to cut off the pipe, right? Do not leave the water running. Do not go in the bathroom and sing and you have the water running. So you complain about all those things, but you're not even solving the problem. You're not fixing the bed, but you complain about it. You're not making it up. You complain about the yard, you're not even taking the broom and sweep. That is the NNP, And these are simple ways of describing the NNP for you at this stage. They complain about everything, and after a while, if you're in a relationship, after a while, you must get fed up. You must get fed up because you see, the NNP is negative, and they believe by being negative, by attacking the NDC administration, they will get back in power somehow. That is what they believe. They believe by criticizing the NDC and talking about this and talking about that and attacking verbally here and everywhere, that they're going to get back in office. That is what they believe. Right? One call this morning saying, well, the gentleman or the individual who referring to the government as a gangster government is correct to do so because when the NDC administration came into power, they sent home people. And I asked myself, but wait, this NNP stooge, right? Are you really serious? Send them who people? And he's referring to the folks who are employed with the faith-based organization, right? This what's the name of the organization? Faith something, some kind of organization, right? Where they were going in schools and hand sanitizing for, COVID, in the COVID period. They were going in the schools and you had 2 or 3 or 4 of them in every school. Hand sanitizing, people were entering the school. But COVID done and finished long in terms of the conditions and the restrictions and the procedures and all these different things, the protocols and all these different things. That has been lifted long years now, right? So they wanted the NDC administration to continue paying these people when they don't have work. And it was not governmental. It's a private entity that government contracted and the NNP administration contracted. Yeah. not the NDC. So they were contracted to do a work, but if there is no work to do, why should the government keep them? And look at the amount of money that that organization was paid. In fact, even when the COVID restrictions and so on and all these different conditions were lifted, these people were still going into schools. Doing what? God alone knows. You understand the point? So he's referring to that because it can't be anything else, because this government was very nice to a lot of NNP supporters, known supporters who campaign and do certain things. In fact, the maintenance gangs, the majority of these people are NNP supporters. The NNP did not, the NDC who came into power, right, did not make them go or send them home. They kept them, the majority of them. That those who doing the asphalt, paving and so on, the majority of them, NNP. A lot of them who get contract to pick up garbage and so on over the many years, NNP, a lot of them. And we can go on and on and on. There are a lot of workers on contract and so on within government departments, NNP, known NNP. They never make them go. No, they never did. I saw one in health, always on program, known NNP. These guys are NNP, right? They didn't sack him or make him go. No. There's another one in NADMA, right? She's vocal, speaking and so on for NADMA and so on. NNP, the NDC didn't make them go. No. There's some government departments. We have a lot of NNP, known NNP. Not no guess game, known NNP activists. They did not make them go. They allege that 3 or 4 or 5 people in Karaku was sent home. Big joke. Big joke. Most of these people, they're on contract. So if your contract ends, you have to go. You understand the point? So the government didn't send these people home. So the guy was referring to this faith organization or whatever they call it. Right? But it's a private thing. It's not government. It has nothing to do with government. You hear me? And then the guy went on to speak about they take out 150 from the poor relief, from the poor people money. Utter rubbish. Nonsense. But of course, the host will allow him to just speak. Yeah? No control. And you see, the host is not even sensible enough to understand that after the Plead Your Cause program, many people cut off their program. They don't listen to him speaking after. So a lot of wrong things that people say during the program, even if you try to correct some of them after, people don't listen to him after. So immediately you have to correct the person. Don't leave it, let it remain. Because if somebody says something on the Plead Your Cause program and he waits until after the program to come and correct it, a person can sue WFM, right? Sue WFM and sue him for slander on that program. But he's not even aware of that. You don't have to wait, because the time you're waiting, this thing spreads. The misinformation, the lies, the falsehood spreads. It will spread, right? So you wait until the end and then you come and say this and say that. No, immediately by law, you have to correct the person. Immediately. You can't wait for the end of your program. You'll be making a big mistake. But I am saying this, folks, when this guy starts speaking, right? And then, all of them, they call this program and they're NNP, the majority of them. Not all, but the majority. They're NNP supporters. So he went on to speak about the money that they take out from poor people. NDC actually put more money on this poor relief assistance for people 65 years and older. The majority of people under that program, they're 65 years and older. They added money. They're now collecting $500. During the NNP time, just a little before the election, they added 150. So it was 450. right? But that was just around the election time, not when the NNP came into power and they, no. Just around the election time, they start doing that as a election gimmick, in my belief. But the NDC, the minute that they come into power, within a matter of, a short space of time, they added that to these people. You see, the NNP is not even talking about the Imani trainees anymore, because the Imani trainees, they used to get $700 and $800. Now they're getting $1,200. They're not talking about them anymore. And when they speak about this poor relief assistance and so on, they're not telling people that the folks 65 years and older and those with mental issues and disability issues, they're getting $500 now. They're not going to talk about that. No. And then they would speak about the government came into power and took $2,000 increase in salary. That's false. That is totally false. When the NNP was in power, the ministers of government, they were free to go to the central police station and the Carenage and fill up their vehicles with gas at any time. And no matter how many vehicles they had under the NNP time. The NDC came and they cut that out. They said, no, ministers will not be allowed to just go at the central police station and take gas or diesel. It's not going to happen. Right? When you calculate the amount of gas that those ministers under the NNP time were actually taking on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, it was way, way more than, I think I did the calculation. I think I did almost $2,000 what? Most of them. And then they had a driver assigned to them. And the driver was paid almost $2,000. The driver. Now, our ministers, nearly all of them, they are driving for themselves. And if they have a driver, who pays them the money, the same $2,000 that they're assigned, right? Traveling allowance, that is what would pay their driver. You understand the point? So the government is gaining, and a minister of government has to challenge the opposition when they speak in the parliament and explain what used to happen under the NNP time compared to what is happening now under the NDC time. So in fact, it's not really an increase. Indeed, if the NDC had left what the NNP had in place for ministers, the ministers would have been receiving more. They would have been gaining more because they didn't have to drive. They would have a driver. Government pays the driver. They didn't have to buy gas. They just go to the central police station and get it. So, it's just, but that is how the NNP operates. They go out there spreading false information because they want to have you think that that's the case when that's not the case. And they would repeat it over and over and over on all their programs, over and over and over and over again. That's how they function. And that is why they're repeating over and over and over again, right? That, complaining and repeating that the government should fix everything now, fix all the roads, fix all the police stations, fix all the medical stations, fix all the hospitals, fix all the schools, fix all the playing fields, fix all the basketball courts. That is what they're pushing out there. Employ all the people who are unemployed. Make all the people who are temporary in government permanent. That is what they're actually preaching out there, the NNP. Yes. And then when the NDC complete the project, so let's say the NNP started a project, or they had it in the pipeline, as they would say. When the NDC complete the project, the NNP will then turn around and say, well, you see, this project is our project. That's our project. That's what they're saying, Yeah, so they force it in the hands of the NDC to say, fix everything, fix this, fix that. And then when they fix it, the NNP will come back on their programs, like Kate Lewis, for example. She said, they didn't want me to this, and who they want to this, and start turning and to unveil this and yeah, that's how they function. And it's our project, and it's be at this, and we get the funding, and we get it. That's how they functioning. That's how they functioning. So they didn't start it. A lot of those projects, NNP didn't start it, but they claim they did some work and they get it. Okay, but the NDC completed it. They don't want NDC to take no credit for it. That's how they function, you know. The Molyneux project there, you know, the NNP still out there taking credit for the project, and they say, well, it's their project and them want this and da 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 da. So the person who actually continued the project, for example, and complete the project, no credit should be given to them. It's amazing, you know. And that is why when I listened to the program last night with my good partner, the Honorable Andy Williams and Junior George and Campbell, Dennis Campbell, I think that's his name, Campbell. He used to call this program and I put him in his place. And since after that, can't call. I block him off all about. You hear me? Because he believes that he's smart. He's not. He's not smart. No. He used to be in New York, and then I think he's down either in Florida or Georgia, somewhere down there. Either in Florida or Georgia. I think he got a little sick, and then he, bounced back or so. And he's somewhere there. Right? I think it's Dennis, either Dennis Campbell, whatever his name is. But I was able to stop him in his track with his dotishness. Because he believes he's an engineer. The guy is not an engineer by profession. The guy believes that he has all the knowledge and stupidness, rubbish. And he keeps talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. On my program, I cut that off. I get rid of that long. I don't have time for this nonsense. You see the point? But I listen to nearly all programs. Some people don't understand me. Nearly all programs I listen to. So I know what's going on and who's talking what and who's saying what. You hear me? But I am saying all of this to say to you, you have a situation where the NNP and the supporters, the pundits, the surrogates, trying to give the public the impression that NDC has to fix every single thing. You understand the point? They want NDC to fix everything and fix it now. But here it is. They out there criticizing the citizenship by investment program. The program that's generating money, they out there criticizing that. That is how wicked the NNP is and their supporters. So the program that's generating the much needed revenue, the money, they criticizing it. They're trying to put all kind of thing over it. Russians, Palestinians, and all kind of things they ain't saying. And who buying passport and who this and this, what they ain't saying by. You hear me? Because they want the program to crash. They want bad things to befall the program. So then the roads will not be fixed. Schools will not be fixed. Less investment in youth development, women's development, the elderly, salaries will be late. Hospitals and clinics will not be attended to. That is what they want. That's what the NNP, surrogates and pundits want. That's what they want. So while they saying on one side of their tongue, fix the roads, fix the schools, fix all the roads, fix all the general hospital, fix the hospital, fix the clinics, fix everything, fix the police stations, fix this and fix that. Right? Yeah. While they're saying that, on the other side of their tongue, they know what is generating the revenue that can actually start fixing some of these things. They condemning it and criticizing it because they want it to collapse. Because once revenues are not coming in through that program, then a lot of things would get messed up. They know. You think they know what they're doing? They know fully well what they're doing. The NNP surrogates, pundits, goons, zygotes, and sycophants. They're tactical. In fact, they're surgical in their approach to what they're doing. You hear them on their programs. Fix this. Fix that now. Fix this now. Fix. They know that the government not printing any money. They know we don't have oil and gas, as they said we found oil and gas. No, we don't have oil and gas. They know we don't have gold, we don't have silver, we don't have ruby, we don't have pearl, we don't have none of these things. We don't. We don't have copper, we don't have zinc, we don't have none of these things. We don't have these things, right? They know. So they know the revenues can only be generated from taxation, from the citizenship by investment program and so on too, and from the little thing that we produce here and we export. And we don't export much things. So they know. Don't fool yourself. That is why they're criticizing the government, because the government gets a good rating for the way they're managing the economy. Unemployment fell significantly. I think it's about 11 or 12%. The inflation rate is on a decline, right? Visitor arrivals is up significantly by 30% or so in the first quarter. Revenues is up by a significant margin, surplus left, right, and center. The CBI program generated $1 billion, in excess of $1 billion in revenue in 2023, right? Liquidity in the banks, they are looking very positive. We are liquid. Bad loans, that is on a low, meaning people are servicing their loans and paying their loans. The economy is managed well. No convestor, no crook, and come here and con the government and bubble the government and take money and run away with it. You understand the point? So all these different things are working. Jobs are being created in the construction sector, the tourism sector, the agricultural sector, and we can go on and on. Plenty jobs are being created there. So they know. Don't fool yourself. You believe that these people are genuine about Grenada? The NNP surrogates, goons, zygotes, and sycophants? You're mad. They don't like the fact that the economy is running well. They don't like the fact that we are generating much needed revenue to build this country and to develop this country. You're mad. They don't. And anybody with common sense would realize. So they go in parliament or they're on their programs and they say, fix all the roads. The road's bad. Fix it. Fix all the schools. Right? Make all the people in government who are temporary prominent. Fix all the police stations. And they even getting some of those NNP police to record things and put it on the internet. You hear me? They tell you, fix all the medical stations. Fix the hospital. Fix this. Hire that one. Do this, do that. Fix all the projects. That's how they're doing it. But where would we get the money from? From the citizenship by investment program. From tax revenue, from taxation, paying taxes. And from grants and so on. So that is where the money and so on will come from. You see? But at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. Don't fool yourself. So they're condemning that program. They're saying all kind of bad things about the program. Left, right, and center. Because they want the program to fail. They want bad things to befall the program. They want Grenada to be on its knees. Because if the NDC is unable to pay salaries on time, if the NDC is unable to fix roads, if the NDC is unable to fix the schools and clinics and police stations and create opportunities for young people, and if the NDC is unable to do that, then the NNP, surrogates, goons, and, they would look good. And they believe by doing that, they would come right back into power. That's their strategy. You don't believe that's their strategy? That is their strategy. That is their tactic. But we seen through them. If you don't, sorry for you. But we are seeing through them. That is why they're only condemning, They could only condemn, criticize, attack. They could only do these things. Nothing constructive. Nothing constructive. They are not interested in the development of the country and the country doing well and developing and transforming. That is why they're criticizing the Golden Jubilee, the independence celebration, and they want to ask all kind of questions about it. Because the team of people who were assigned responsibility to do the thing, they did it well. And what they mean, if you have a company or you have some little business or so on, and you're an NDC or you're associated with the government or anything of that sort, you shouldn't survive. You shouldn't have any contract given. You shouldn't be allowed to do this or do that. You're not a Grenadian. That is what they believe. That's how they function, you know. Don't fool yourself. They know exactly what they are doing. They're not doing these things by guess. No, they're not. So they're tactical. They're tactical and they're surgical. Just listen to their programs. I listen to nearly all programs in Grenada. And when I speak here, you could know that I'm listening to all the programs. You hear me? All. While my program was on, junior program was on. And I still could tell you what was discussed there. You hear me? Don't fool yourself. I follow all those programs. The Francis Pear guy, the Carl Caton, the Devon Romain, Panames, all of them. Yeah, Andre, Shaggy, Plead Your Cause, GT to the Point, all of them. I follow all the different programs. You hear me? Talking Points, Sheldon Scott, all of them. And as I say to people, I have about 29 accounts on Facebook and otherwise. I would pop up under their live and they don't even know it's me. Because I understand this thing to a T. I've been out here long enough to understand it. So when I speak, I know what I'm saying. I'm not guessing this. So don't believe that these people love Grenada and they want to see Grenada prosper and transform. No, they want to see bad things befall this country so that they can easily ride their way back into power. That is what they want. They're not getting it. It's not happening because it's the total opposite. Things are looking up and up and up. The economy's been managed excellently, well. So they're not getting what they want. So the level of desperation is showing up now. In fact, they're calling the government a gangster government. You understand? They're desperate because we're coming on to 2 years. We are going on to 2 years in office. But folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. We are out of time. I will continue to talk, to advocate, to speak on the issues without fair favor or ill will. I will bring reasoning to the table because that is what it's supposed to be. Our conversation needs to be at a certain level, right? At a certain level that one can learn from, right? So I want to thank you very much. I want to wish you all the best for the entire day. Take good care. I'll be back with you tonight, starting from 8 in the p.m. as per usual in the hub. So bye for now. Bye for